Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Shelby of Shelby and the Book Club and Shelby of the Bookstore. In case you did not know that, you can shop the bookstore with the link in my bio. In today's video, we're going to talk about my very, very ambitious May TBR. 1, can't believe it's May. 2, we're doing the Big Book Challenge in May, and I still want to read all this other stuff. So, come on now, look at me. I finally feel like I'm getting out of my reading funk. And that says a lot. But I'm also realizing that I am a mood reader. And sometimes I'm not always sticking to my TBR because sometimes I'll read something and it'll be like really, really good and it'll put me in the mood to want to read more books like that. So I'm reaching for more books like that. Or sometimes I'm just like real finicky and I'm like picking through books all month. Like I'll read a little bit of this, I'll read a little bit of that, I'll read a little bit of this. And then it's the last week of the month and I'm like, I ain't read a damn thing. I ain't read not nan one of them books I done read. So learning to navigate that, but I still have a pretty ambitious TBR and I'm no longer beating myself up for not sticking to my TBR. It's just, this is what is on my radar for right now. And I like doing these videos. And like I said, subject to change. Because who knows how the month is going to go. So, yeah, if you would like to hear it, here it go. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. I've had this channel for a while. And it has kind of transitioned with me through some things. But I'm finally like able to be consistent here. I'm growing my little family over here and I'm super excited about it. So tell the people, tell your friends that like to read, tell your friends that like lifestyle things. Just tell the people, okay? So if you would like to hear it, here it go, friends. Okay, so first on the list for our TBR, let's get the book club picks out of the way. If you guys don't know, I do have 2 separate book clubs. So one is Shelby and the Book Club. Hello, welcome. And that is a public book club that I run over on Instagram and here, where I talk about the books. I usually do 1 to 2 Instagram lives every month to do book discussions. Usually 1 at the halfway point and then 1 at the end. And this month's book club pick is, why can't I talk today? This month's book club pick is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I've heard amazing things about this man and his writing, in his books. I have not heard one person say one bad thing about them. So I'm super excited to read this with you guys. And yeah, you can purchase your copy over at shelbyandthebookstore.com if you would like to participate. And honestly, all you have to do to participate is to buy your book from shelbyandthebookstore.com and to show up to the Instagram lives. Like, that is it. Next, we have my Patreon book club, which I like to call like the Shelby and the Book Club VIP section. Usually, I put books up for them to vote on what they would like to read, and then we discuss it via Zoom. This month, I actually picked the book, and I didn't tell anybody that I was doing that, just because life has been crazy, and I wanted to read something light, and I knew exactly what I wanted to read, and that is The Perfect Find by Tia Williams. I have the book here. I have this one. Ta-da! I absolutely loved 7 Days in June. Like, Miss Mama put her ankle in that book, okay? So I wanted something light. I wanted it to be funny. A little bit of smut in there somewhere, like just a good book. And I think that's going to be it. So those are the 2 book club picks. If you would like to join my Patreon, the link is down below. It is another way to support me and the bookstore if you so see fit. And they get all of my content first, Zoom meetings, all that other stuff, and I'm looking to add a list of things or whatever to that. So link is in the underneath the bar if you would like to join. Now everything else on this list is in no particular order. Okay, we're just gonna go through them. So next up, we have The Bell Jar. I feel like everybody has read The Bell Jar except for me, and I want to change that. I think that it's considered a classic. I don't necessarily know why it's considered a classic. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I know anybody personally that has read this. But it says The Bell Jar chronicles the crack up of Esther Greenwood. Brilliant, beautiful, enormously talented and successful, but slowly going under, maybe for the last time. Sylvia Plath masterfully draws the reader into Esther's breakdown with such intensity that Esther's insanity becomes completely real and even rational, as probable and accessible an experience as going to the movies. Such deep penetration into the dark and harrowing corners of the psyche is an excellent accomplishment and made The Bell Jar a haunting American classic. This kind of makes me want to read it while I'm high, which I don't think is necessarily a good idea. Next, we have Shit Cassandra Saw. Tell me that this book cover is not beautiful. Please tell me that it is not beautiful. Like, I had to have it. I had to. I am a sucker for book art. So much so that I did not realize that this is a book of short stories. And if you know me, you know that I usually do not buy things that are works of short stories. If you watch my most recent weekly vlog, which by the time you guys see this, it'll be last week's vlog for you guys. You know that I picked this up while I was at the Fountain Bookstore in Richmond, Virginia, which if you are in that area, if you're looking for an indie bookstore to go to, you should definitely pick this up. You should definitely go there. They had a bunch of cool things. The workers were knowledgeable. They were super smart. They had good things to say. I just love the experience. And I buy a lot of books because I love to buy books. I feel like reading books and buying books are two completely different hobbies. But also now, because I'm looking to open a store, which hopefully next year, the end of this year to next year, hopefully we're going to put that into existence. I go into places now considering the vibe, considering like, okay, what did I like about this store versus what I did not like about this store. And it was just so, it felt like home. And there was a nice diverse pick of things. I didn't have a hard time finding any books. It was overall good. But anyway, back to Shit Cassandra Saw. When I saw this, I just had to have it. So it says, Cassandra may have seen the future, but it doesn't mean she's resigned to telling the Trojans everything she knows. In this collection, virgins escape from being sacrificed, witches refuse to be burned, whores aren't shamed, and every woman gets a chance to be a radioactive cockroach warrior who snaps back at catcallers. Gwen E. Kirby experiments with found structures, a Yelp review, a WikiHow article, which her fierce narrators push against, showing how creativity within an enclosed space undermines and deconstructs the constraints themselves. When these women tell the stories of their triumphs as well as their pain, they emerge as funny, angry, loud, horny, lonely, strong protagonists who refuse to be secondary characters a moment longer. From the best and only whore of Sinhyfred, Patagonia, 1886, to Midwestern girl is tired of appearing in your short stories. Kirby is playing and laughing with the women who have come before her, and they are telling her, we have always been this way. You just had to know where to look. Oh my gosh. The first story is called Shit Cassandra Saw That She Didn't Tell the Trojans, because at that point, fuck them anyway. I had to have this book. I had to. And short stories aren't terrible. There are some short stories that I absolutely love. For example, The Paper Menagerie. If you do not listen to LeVar Burton Reed's you have to listen to LeVar Burton Reads. All of my favorite short stories he has read on that podcast. Does it have something to do with his voice? Absolutely. Does it also have something to do with the fact that Shelby likes older men? And if he was not married and I had the opportunity, my mother and my aunt watched this channel. Next on the list, we have Half of a Yellow Sun by Chiamanda, Ngozi, Adichie. Everyone has read this except for Shelby. It says, this haunting novel of love, war, and moral responsibility is set against the backdrop of a moment in African history, the Nigerian Civil War, and the unforgettable characters who experienced this tumultuous decade. This is possibly, maybe, going to be the next book in the Shelby Decides series. I will let you guys know at a later date. Next, this one I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to read this month. I kind of missed the characters. I read the first one last month. There will be a review video, so I'm not going to talk too much about this. But we have The Undertakers by Nicole Glover. I liked the first one. I liked it a lot. I didn't love it, but we'll talk about that later. Next, who's my favorite author? 5, 4, 3, 2. Zora Neale Hurston. Next, we have Moses, Man of the Mountain by her. I have not read this book. So it says, in this 1939 novel based on the familiar story of the Exodus, Zora Neale Hurston blends Moses of the Old Testament with Moses of Black folklore and song to create a compelling allegory of power, redemption, and faith, narrated in a mixture of biblical rhetoric, Black dialect, and colloquial. That's not how you say that word. We just gonna say English. Hurston traces Moses' life from the day he is launched into the Nile River in a reed basket to his development as a great magician, to his transformation to a heroic rebel leader, the great emancipator. From his dramatic confrontations with the Pharaoh to his fragile negotiations with the wary Hebrews, this very human story is told with great humor, passion, psychological insight, and the hallmarks of Hurston as a writer and champion of Black culture. I've never read this book, so I'm very excited to read it, and to do a review for you guys. I feel like, Zora Neale Hurston's work for a lot of people begin and end with, why am I drawing a blank of the title of that book? Why does that happen? Why does that happen? Because it makes me feel like I don't know what I'm talking about when I do know that I know what I'm talking about. Why can't I think of the name of this book, Jesus? Their eyes were watching God. My God, today. I feel like that's where it ends for a lot of you guys. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. When she has a lot of other books that are really, really good. Some that I've read and I just don't really remember. Others that I cling to. But yeah, I know I'm gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it. But I ordered some other books by her, but that'll be in a TBR video. Next, we have Africaville by, are you gonna focus? Would you focus on me? Baby, can you focus? We have Africaville by Jeffrey Colvin. Let me go ask Jimmy, is this his cousin? What is this Jimmy cousin? Anyway, Africaville chronicles the lives of 3 generations of the Seabolt family. Kath Ella, her son Omar / a teen, and her grandson Warner, whose lives unfold against the tumultuous events of the 20th century, from the Great Depression of the 1930s through the social protests of the 1960s to the economic upheavals in the 1980s. As it explores notions of identity, passing, cross-racial relationships, the importance of place, and the meaning of home, Africaville tells the larger story of the Black experience in parts of Canada and the United States. Vibrant and lyrical, filled with colorful details, and told in a powerful, haunting voice. This extraordinary novel, as atmospheric and steeped in history as the known world, the Underground Railroad, and the 12 Tribes of Hattie, is a landmark from a sure to be major literary talent. The 12 Tribes of Hattie is one of my favorite books. Like, there's something about the way that the 12 Tribes of Hattie is told that I feel like I'm gonna love that book too. And then the last two that we have is A Woman of Endurance, which I talked to you guys a whole bunch about already. I'm excited to read this one because I love that it is about... Oh, there are parts in this book that are in Spanish. Let me call the devil now. It's about an African woman, a slave, who is on a plantation in 19th century Puerto Rico. I feel like we often don't talk about the slaves that come from Puerto Rico that are Afro-Latina, Afro-Latinx. And I think it's important stories to tell because it happened to them too. Like, slavery didn't only happen in America. Let that sink in. And then last but certainly not least, we have the Books of Jacob. I'm going to have to learn how to say Miss Olga's name because I just don't know how. And I don't know how. But yeah, I am starting this month. And yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't know when I'm going to start it. I think I'm going to try and get the book club picks out of the way first and then barrel through this. I don't know, but I am super excited to hear about Jacob and his bull swanky because apparently he was putting the people through it. And that is what the book is about from everybody's perspectives. So don't forget to let me know in the comments what you plan to read this month. If you are going to be a part of the Shelby and the Big Books Challenge, please go join the Discord. It is important. Only because I want to talk to you all the time. Like, come on, girl. Come on, guy. Come on, friend. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? Nothing. So, yeah, that is that. And if no one has told you today, I love you. I hope to hear from you soon. You are kind. You are smart. You are what? Important. Bye, friends.